Hello guys, so this is Miss Faratalat, your world history teacher, and we talked in the previous class about the problems that Peter had to deal with, the four problems that Peter the Great of Russia had to deal with, and we took the first one, which is taming the nobles and Strelitsy. Now here we're going to continue from page 249 and 250. We're going to continue about the problems: achieving control of Russian Orthodox Church, streamlining and organizing central control of his government, developing an industrial economy in Russia, and then we're going to talk about his mistakes that led to the end of his monarch in Russia. So let's start. Here we're talking about the second problem, which is, or the second problem that he faced, which is achieving control of the Russian Orthodox Church. What about this? He dealt with the Orthodox Church, the Russian Orthodox Church, with the same aggressiveness as the nobles. He did not want them to involve themselves in the ruling and to go against him. And to go against his what? Against his idea of or plan of modernization. What is the meaning of modernization? When you want to become a modern, when you go throughout some points to become a modern, like the Western philosophy. He wanted to go to become modern and to leave the traditional ways to become modern, and his philosophy to become like the Western ones. So, why he was aggressive with the Russian Orthodox Church? Because he wanted to prevent the clergymen, the people of the church, the priests, to do what? To go against him and against his plans when he wants to go and to become modernized and adopting a new ideas from the West, especially about their philosophy if it was against the religion. Modernization, it refers to our what a model of a progressive tradition from a pre-modern or traditional to a modern society. So if you want to get rid of traditions to become a modern. So what did he do to become able to prevent them and to control the church? He made what? He made the church a part of his governmental bureaucracy, headed by him. How he was able to do that? By removing the clergy and removing the patriarch, the big head of the church, of the Russian Orthodox Church, to remove the patriarch and to put a synod instead of him. What is the meaning of synod, guys? Synod means he is a lay person, he is a non-religious person who was what? Appointed by Peter to govern the Russian Orthodox Church. So by this synod, he was appointed at the year of 1721, and he worked under the under or he was headed by who? By Peter, and he works for Peter. So the church now is a part of the governmental bureaucracy that Peter was headed. Okay, what is the meaning of governmental bureaucracy? We said that bureaucracy means when you have classes, and so especially from the middle class and the higher class, are working for the who? For the emperor or the king at that time. So here, who's the head or the king or the czar? Peter the Great, and everyone else is working under him. So this is the bureaucracy. Problem number three, guys. Achieving control of the Russian church, how he was Orthodox Church, how he was able to do that in order for him to reach modernization. He replaced the patriarch of the Russian Orthodox Church with a synod. What is the meaning of a synod? An unreligious person who works only for Peter the Great. He was appointed at the year of 1721. Going to problem number three: streamlining and organizing central control of his government. In other words, he wanted to make his government controlled by him and only him. He adopted what? In order for him to organize his government, he adopted the style of Swedish governmental administration. He adopted the Swedish style and imitated it and created one for his own. So the style of the governmental administration, he adopted the Swedish style, which means, what was the Swedish style? It was several officials of equal ranks and power works with each other. Who hid them? No one, only Peter. So several officials, no one is higher than the other, no one is like the head of the officials. No, all of them, several officials, equal ranks, works with each other, equal power works with each other to go with to come out with what? With one decision to tell it to the empire or the Tsar, sorry, immediately. Why did he do this? Because he thought that if we removed the ranks within one place and all the several officials were equal to each other, there will be like some freedom in talking, and they will talk about their opinion and share it with you without being afraid that you are higher than me or you have power more than me. No, all of us are equal and all of us work together. Okay. The second thing that he adopted, the number of officials was small. He adopted that from Louis XIV. So, like Louis XIV of France, he imitated his number of officials and made it small. Why? Because he wanted to control them and to put his hand over them. And he made them deal with what? Because they are small, he made them deal with taxes, foreign affairs, war, the Russian economy. All of these are given to what? Are given to officials, and the officials will tell Peter later on about them, and they have to deal with the problems about these four things. This made it easier for Peter to control the land in a smooth way. Okay, so he adopted to about his government. He took the Swedish style and made several officials with equal ranks and power worked with each other, and the number of the officials was small, and all of them dealt with what they dealt with what? Taxes, foreign affairs, war, and the Russian economy. His idea was, why he made this, because his idea was, if we remove the ranks, the people will now become what? Freer to express their own opinion, and no such, you are more powerful than me, you are superior, I am inferior. No, they remove the inferior superior thing, and everyone is equal to each other, and they will be freer to talk about everything together. He hoped, after doing this, he will gain the people's trust to support his army with money. So all of these things that he did before, he did it just for gaining the trust of the people, the trust of the officials, the trust of the bureaucracy people, like the middle class, the trust of the church, because he's controlling it now. All of this he made it just to gain the trust, so everyone will put some amount of money to help his what? To help his army, because he wanted to go in a war against Europe still, to gain the absolute monarch. Now, to control the economy, number 4, it was developing an industrial economy in Russia. We said that he needed to control the industry in Russia because he needed a finance or an income for his military to gain more money to work and to become more powerful. To control the economy in Russia, Peter needed to control the what? Needed to control the manufacture of iron, especially the iron. To justify, why did he choose the iron, especially iron? Because of two things. Number 1, the iron industry was so related to what? To the military, because they're going to make weapons, they're going to make guns, they're going to make anything that they needed, they're going to make it out of iron. So, or made it out of iron. So he needed the iron industry because it's so related to military, and he needed that for weapons and for machines and machineries and everything. Number 2, because Russia was like having iron in a great amount, like the Ural Mountain contains many iron ore as they need. As you can see, guys, this is iron before it's like made. Like, this is the iron ore. In Arabic, it's الحديد الخام. Okay, so it's the iron before it start like manufacturing it. But in the map, if that you can see it, guys, this is the Oran Mountains. Look to um, the land that it's like spreading all over Russia. So it's all over Russia. Here we have the Ural Mountains. In it, you can find it contains a great amount of iron. So Russia is already having iron. I do not have, as Peter, I do not have to buy it from outside. So I can control it from my own resources, producing, manufacturing it in order for me to manufacture what? Weapons and machines for my military, and now I can go and fight with a great amount of weapons and with more power. He made mistakes. He made three mistakes, Peter the Great. Peter the Great, now he's achieving absolutism and he's controlling the church, he's controlling the people, he's controlling the high class and the military, he's controlling the economy, he's controlling every single thing in Russia, and he's the absolute power and the one and only. What about his ambition? His ambition, guys, from the first place was to what? To hunt, to expand and to control over more lands and to control Europe, to become more powerful than Europe. So in order for him to control that, he needed to access the what? The warm water, so he can later control the what? The trading roads. So the first mistake for Peter, that he was determined to gain what? To gain the control over the warm water and to control trading and to become like having trade between him and the Western world and to take part in the European affairs in trading. So by this, he will gain more money for his military. Of course, this led to what? To the second mistake. This led to make him like believing that he is powerful. So this led him trying to access the warm water. This led him to have a war between him and the what? The Sweden. In the year of 1700, Peter lost a war against the Sweden, but he tried again and attacked them again at the year of 1703. Attacked them, and he was able here to win and to take territories in Sweden. Until now, he have a place in Sweden that it's called. He was able to gain enough territory to build a city. He gained enough territories to build a city that it's according until now it's named after him. Its name was Saint Petersburg, and it's in Russia. So again, the second mistake that he did, he went into a war with Sweden at the 1700, and he lost, and again he attacked them at the 1703, and he built a city after his name, St. Petersburg in Russia. Now this is St. Petersburg, guys. Okay, so the question is, mention the mistakes of Peter the Great. We mentioned the first one. We said that he wanted to gain access to warm water. Justify that because he wanted to control trade with Europe. Now, we talked about the second mistake, St. Petersburg. St. Petersburg, if I ask to define St. Petersburg, you will tell me that it's a smaller model of the Palace of Versailles. Was built by Peter the Great, it was built by Peter the Great, and he forced the nobles to build their houses close to him, like Louis XIV did. Okay, so it's a smaller model of the Palace of Versailles. Was built by Peter the Great. He made the nobles build their houses close to him to show his power. Okay, number 3, guys, from the mistakes, which was that he wanted to gain more territories and more areas for his own. So he wanted to liberate and to make Russia independence, to take some areas from the Ottoman Empire that was taking some areas from Russia. So in order for him to gain more territories and to liberate some areas of Russia from the Ottoman Empire, he entered a war with them, and It was at the year of 1722. It lasted until 1723, which is 1 year, but it ended with the loss of Russia. So who won? The Ottoman Empire. In general, guys, his mistakes, in simple words, that Peter was focusing so much on securing his monarchy and making Russia powerful in economy and in military and taking more lands, but he forgot a very important thing, which is what? He did not train a successor, a man after him to take the throne. He ruled Russia with a great power, with a great charisma, with a great military, and managed to control Russia and the Russian government and managed to keep it stable for 43 years. But he did not train a successor after him to reign after him and to take the throne after him. Peter the Great died. When did he died? And he died at the year of 1725. If I asked you for how long he ruled the land, he ruled it for 43 years. He ruled Russia. Once again, after him, what happened to Russia? Russia moved backward to, after his death, moved backward, and who's controlled them again? Once again, it's between the hands of the boyars, the noble class. They controlled Russia once again. That's it for today, guys. If you have any question, you are so welcome to ask me.